compare experiences with others that may be even slightly similar. In doing so, one can often pull details that otherwise would have gone unnoticed if it weren't for comparing the additional sample. So I did just that.
Look what my uncle gave us for the road.
Morning, just woke up in Dallas. Got in last night around 1 a.m. Pretty much just went straight to sleep. But we're across the street from our hotel in a place called Pioneer Plaza, which was, or is, the resting place of some Confederate soldiers. And it was also the home to a very large Confederate memorial that was removed in June of 2020 following the protests regarding the murder of George Floyd. I'm walking up to the kind of ground upon which the monument used to lay, but looking at a lot of these headstones, a lot of them do go back to early Texas history, and a lot of them go back to the Confederacy, and different people had a role in the history of the founding of Texas. So this is where the monument used to stand. Here in the center part was actually a statue to William Lewis Cable, who was a former mayor of Dallas and a senior officer in the Confederacy. And then surrounding him here on these three circular stands, essentially, was Robert E. Lee, Stonewall Jackson, Albert Johnston, and Jefferson Davis. So, yeah. Some pretty heavy history here, but like I said, this was removed in June of 2020 following the murder of George Floyd and the protests that erupted across the nation. But yeah, pretty heavy start to the morning, and it's probably just going to continue to be heavy from here on out. But good morning from Dallas, Texas.
Well, land of cotton, cotton, Lila's out of style. Honey child, jump for joy.
Right here is actually where Dallas started, this Dealey Plaza. It was the birth of a city, but the death of a legend. On November 22nd, 1963, John F. Kennedy and his vice president, Lyndon Baines Johnson, were actually driving through this Dealey Plaza in a motorcade. But unfortunately, there was, I think they had like the top down. And that's just something that typically, obviously now you wouldn't do that. But at the time, I guess since it was a really nice day out, they really didn't give it a second thought. And from a book depository balcony window, a gentleman named Lee Harvey Oswald shot Kennedy, I believe, 3 times as he drove right through this thoroughfare. Like, we're better than this. Let's change. We are at the Pecan Lodge in Dallas, Texas. I'm currently eating the chopped brisket sandwich with a side of mac and cheese.
And the banana pudding. And I got the fried okra, pickles, onions, beef brisket, and beef jalapeno cheddar links. Mashallah, alhamdulillah.
Little Eve, all the hounds I do believe have been killed. Ain't you thrilled? Jump for joy. Have you seen pastures groovy? While green pastures was just a Technicolor movie. And when you stomp up to heaven and you need old St. Pete, tell that boy, jump for joy. Step right in, give Pete some skin and jump for joy. Out of style, honey child, jump for joy. And don't you grieve, little Eve, all the hounds I do believe have been killed. Ain't you thrilled? Jump for joy. Have you seen pastures groovy? While green pastures was just a
Not bad.
Kolachki. These are Kolachkis, straight from Buc-ee's. Literally the largest gas station in America.
Yep.
Pumps start down there.
This is from Kolachi's, okay? Oh, I mean, sorry, it's a Kolachi from Buc-ee's.
Gas stations start down there, go all the way over there. That's Buc-ee's. The gas station is literally massive, but you might be wondering, why are we eating Kolachkis in Texas? And it's because Kolachkis came to Texas because of Czech immigrants. And that's the thing that's very unique about Texas that a lot of people don't know, is there's a very diverse, long history of immigration to Texas, to Tejas. We have the Poles in Panamaria. Look at Panamaria. You have people, they're from Poland, but they speak a dialect known as Silesian. But yeah, they live in Panamaria. They still speak Polish to this day. They're still Catholic. They still have their church. They still have their community. You have the Czechs who brought the Kolachkis. My grandmother, she was from the Czech Republic, or Slovakia, which is, you know, Czechoslovakia. She was from Slovakia. But yeah, Kolachkis, that's what they brought them in here to Texas. And you also have the famous Texas German. The dialect is still spoken to this day in towns like Fredericksburg. You can go into these communities, take tours, go, you know, sit in a restaurant there, try to pay attention and listen to what people are speaking, and you might notice that they are not speaking English. Indeed, they're speaking German. So, you know, Texas has a very diverse, very complex, long, beautiful history. But we're here at Buc-ee's, largest gas station in America, probably in the world.
And when you stomp up to heaven and you need old St. Pete, tell that boy, jump for joy. Step right in, give Pete some skin and jump for joy.
Bismillah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We just got into Shreveport, Louisiana, and we're about ready to go to Crawdaddy's, which is an authentic Cajun Creole, you know, Louisiana food. They have alligator, they have frog legs, they have crawfish, they have etouffee, they have gumbo. We just ordered up 2 pounds of crawfish and some fried spicy alligator, so yeah, let's check it out.
Perfect one. Got my trusty butter. So tonight at dinner, Britt and I, we were trying crawfish and alligator for the first time. And when the crawfish was brought into us, hilariously, what I did was I remember picking one up and I squeezed the head to try to pull it off, like, you know, from the torso. And the face just like totally like collapsed and it squirted like brain juice like all over my coat. And then Britt, what he did was he picked up some like seasoning salt and was pouring it onto the shells of the crawfish. So that, of course, preempted some giggles from, you know, surrounding locals. And this one lady came up to us and oh, I'm sorry, not lady, sorry. This one gentleman came up to us and said, you know, I used to be in your shoes once too. He's like, I'm not from around here either. So he's like, I'll show you how to eat like a crawfish. So he explained to us how you have to twist the torso from the head, and then you pull like the tip of the tail from the mid torso to get the meat out, and then apparently you're supposed to like just like suck the brain out of the cranium cavity. Yep, so pretty interesting.
Bismillah, assalamu alaikum. Yesterday we made it into Jackson, Mississippi around a little past 12 midnight, and now we're here in front of the famous Mississippi Civil Rights Museum.
Stop! You can't come in here. The colored entrance is over there. Hey, you best watch where you're going now.
Medgar and Merle Evers moved to Mound Bayou. He worked with T.R.M. Howard, activist, doctor, and owner of an insurance company. While selling insurance, Medgar began to educate and organize black citizens to register to vote. Working with the Regional Council of Negro Leadership, he helped launch a boycott of gasoline stations with segregated restrooms. Of words.
Here in Mississippi, all of you know that your tax dollar and mine is taken from us, not because we give it willingly, but it's taken from us unwillingly, and it's given to the Citizens Council, it's given to the Sovereignty Commission at the rate of $4,500 a month. And God has given.
You're right. See, they have the original photos. Nothing's changed.
So the masjid is not only for the worshiping, right? It's more into like today we have a common
libraries, private libraries, and 150 schools. Books were not only brought into Timbuktu, but local scholars authored their own books, and artisans scribed, decorated, and bound them in a sophisticated local book production industry.
And he was sent to here, to America as a slave. His owner was illiterate man.
أنا سكاري ندي له نتناري وين نتناري وين عند غنتي سنانا مسلين تنيري هون السليم